We're smooth 98.1 FM. Good morning and welcome to Business Express. We're ready to get into everything business right away as we're joined this morning by Abigail Alabi, Sub-Saharan Industrial Goods Analyst with Vetiva Capital Management Limited. Welcome to you, Abigail.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, so it's a Thursday already. So let's begin with this matter that is, aside from bread issues, this one also determines if you've got shelter and how much you pay for it. We shall be focusing on the issue, Nigerian cement prices rising as much as 40% between December and February as we speak. So we'd like to know what your thoughts would be like this morning relating to this issue. If you send us a message to 0809 4440981. You can also reach down to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. So, Abigail, let's begin with what exactly is going on? Help us understand where is the cement price racing to that it won't wait for us. We've gone from 5,000 in December to as much as 7,000, and we hear it's around the region of 10,000 now. What is happening?
Okay. Over the last few years, we have seen significant increase in cement prices. And as we all know, the cement industry is a very, very cost-intensive industry, and that has been worsened by this currency depreciation. And most of the raw materials and input costs from the cement industries are linked to the USD. And once we see a depreciation in the currency, that will also affect cost of production for cement producers as well. So for one is coal. Coal is primarily imported and it fluctuates with global prices as well. So once we see global prices of coal increase, we also see that affect domestic prices of coal as well. And some of the cement producers depend on coal too. Some of them use gas as well for one of the energy sources. And gas is also USD linked. And any volatility in gas prices also affects gas prices for cement producers as well. And also it also have equipment as well. Equipment is also one of the key things that drives cost for cement producers. Most of these equipment or spare parts are also imported. And like I said, once we have like a slight change in currency depreciation, a slight change in fluctuation in currency, that will also cause an increase in input cost. And most of the time, cement players have no choice but to pass this increased costs in form of prices to consumers. We also have transportation as well. Last year was a major deal breaker for the cement industry. I said our operating costs increased significantly. And one of the major things that contributed to this increase in operating cost was their haulage cost or distribution cost. And that was because of the rise in diesel prices. So we have seen distribution costs significantly cost for cement producers to increase significantly. And because of these issues of logistics, you can now see like various prices in different regions. And like I said, because the producers want to protect their margins, they have no choice but to increase prices to mask this cost. And that's what we have seen up until now.
But some persons, in spite of this, would say, I agree, you mentioned the price of gas, coal, but persons would say, look, the major material, limestones and other, it's local. So that should not be accountable for this kind of amount we are paying at least. What would you say to such persons?
We all know that limestone is being imported, but limestone is not the only component of
Mhm.
cement. There are other binders that are limestone. You cannot make limestone from just cement. There are other binders that would be involved. You have clinkers, we have gypsum, we have other ingredients that will be used. I think the major contributor to the cost is energy sources. That has been a serious problem from so many years up until now. They are struggling with gas supply, they're struggling with coal supply. And we have seen them move to alternative energy, but that has not been able, we've not seen a huge percentage of thermal substitution from cement industries to be able to say that they're going to or totally substitute fossil fuels. The part of fossil fuel is still a driving force to the rising cost for cement producers, not just limestone. Energy sources is one of the key problems driving these issues.
Oh, well, sir, thanks so much, Abigail. But let's drift on to this one. Some persons already, when you look at the cement industry or business in Nigeria, it tells you of oligopoly. And can you help us define this and help us get a better understanding? Tell us if such a market structure is beneficial to the country.
Okay, so oligopoly is like a market structure that where we have a small number of players dominating the industry, where you have a small number of players having significant control over the market and also having the ability to influence prices. And in the case of the Nigerian cement industry, we also have a case of an oligopoly as well. We have just three major players. That's Dangote Cement, Boa Cement, and Lafarge. And most of and majority and those three control the large portion of the market share. I mean, oligopoly is not without its own benefits as well. There's also the benefit of economies of scale. So oligopolistic firms can achieve economies of scale by producing in large volumes, and they're able to spread the cost across the volumes, and that can potentially reduce prices. While oligopoly has some benefits, it has a little bit of challenge, or there are some concerns about oligopoly as well. So there's the issue of limited competition. I mean, right now we can currently say there are just three major players with limited competition. So the domination or the dominance of these few cement in players can sometimes lead to less competition and also increase the pressure on prices. And once we have the pressure, and also with higher prices or with limited competition, we can see that oligopolistic players can increase prices because in a competitive market, they may not be able to do that as well as being in a oligopolistic market. And also, we have seen that customers do not have a lot of variety when it comes to products in a oligopolistic market. Right now, we can say in Nigeria, we're only sticking to just three major products. It's either you either buy from Lafarge, Boa, or Dangote Cement. And since consumers have few options, and it's very, very easy for producers to keep their prices very, very fixed or even increase price because they know that producers do not have a lot of options. And also, there's also a key concern of barriers to entry. So I mean, in oligopolistic markets, we have a high barrier to entry, such as high capital requirements and also existing market dominance. And all of this would prevent new firms from easily entering into the market and also competing with these new existing firms. So while the oligopolistic market offers like a major benefits, it also gives lots of concerns as well. And to be able to address these challenges of having like a price collision or an increase in prices because of the market structure, there should be policies that will be aimed at promoting competition and also encouraging new entrants as well. And I think those key factors are very, very important to ensuring that we have an affordable cement industry in Nigeria.
Abigail, the next thing would be the way we see prices when they pick up in Nigeria. It defies the logic of what economists would say when things go up, they would come down. And so, what's your trajectory? Let's just talk us through the prices in the short term. Is this what we must go through, expecting it to probably fall down like a feather?
I mean, in the short term, things have not changed. The input costs, including energy, fuel, and transportation, they significantly impact cement production. And fluctuations in these prices can affect cement prices. So in the short term, the increase in all these input costs can lead to a pricing. So in the net term, we expect that this fluctuation in prices would cause cement prices to remain high or even increase. Because I mean, we still have inflation. The far rising cost has not yielded any, we've not seen any respite in the areas of cost as well for cement producers. And also in transportation, we've not seen any bit of ease for that for the cement producers in the sector. So for in the near term, we expect that cement prices still, I mean, they may either be stable or they may slightly increase based on the fact that cost factors are still very much increasing. Then in the long term, so for long term, we expect like a more stable um expect like a more stable prices because of a few factors. So increased domestic production. So in the long term, we expect to see more stable cement prices because we expect investment in new plants and also capacity expansion. We have seen that Cement announced that's going to have a new 6 million metric tons plant. Also seeing Boa Cement as well expanding as fast as it could. And as a result, most likely see a significant increase in supply. And this would lead to more competitive market and also may reduce pricing. And also we expect to see some government intervention because I mean the government have also been very, very aware of the fact that cement prices have been increasing. So maybe putting in policies that will promote consumption and also having like an efficient price mechanism would also some in a way reduce the price pressure in cement in the long term.
All right, if you join in, you're listening to Business Express. We'd like to get your thoughts. If you send them across to 0809 444 0981, and we're picking up the conversation looking at the Nigerian cement prices climb to 40% between December and February. And February is still like, well, we're mid into February already, but it's looking like could this be where it's staying? Would like to get your thoughts. But Abigail, this next issue is would the price of cement be the best parameter to measure the cost of construction in the country? And also link this to how would this even affect the cost of shelter, housing in the country?
Okay, so I mean, the cement prices are a good like indication of construction cost, but I mean it's not a perfect. I mean there are other factors that also contribute to construction cost. But I mean cement is a fundamental building material and also used in different construction projects. And as such, when we see like a change in cement prices, it can directly impact the cost of production, and particularly for projects that heavily rely on cement. So we have our railroads, our roads, housing. Most of them depend on cement, as cement is like a major material, like I said, for construction. And also, cement materials are also influenced by factors such as raw material cost, energy cost, transportation cost, and also production capacity. So any change in these factors can also affect production prices and also affect construction costs in the way. So monitoring selling prices can sort of give like a guidance or an insight on how construction costs are within the industry. And how would it affect the housing deficit? I mean, Nigeria currently has a housing deficit of about 17 million metric tons, 70 million units. And this would even be higher. And
That
I
figure
mean,
has been there for a long while, 17
yes,
million.
I mean, I think currently it has increased about 22 million units now
Yeah.
that we currently have. And I mean, it's not increasing, it's not decreasing anytime soon. And that has given like a major concern to both the private sector and also the public sector. And the rising cost of cement will also be in a way affect the cost of housing. But I mean, we have seen different interventions, or we have seen the government come up with several interventions, several policies to address this housing deficit. I mean, we have seen government-led housing programs, we have seen mortgage incentives, we have seen partnerships with private developers to be able to make affordable housing much more or increase supply of affordable housing for low and a middle income earners. So we expect to see continued investment by the government to at least help to bridge this gap. And also, I mean, this may not be a short-term strategy, but I mean, over the last few years, we have seen in other countries they have been able to diversify from the standard or from the normal construction material, and that's concrete. And we have seen them move to alternative materials. I mean, that's just something we should also be looking at in the cement industry. I mean, that's a long-term plan, but something we should be looking at by diversifying from other or from the standard cement to other cheaper ones.
Well, with the price of cement moving at this pace, I just would like to ask you, because you're the expert now, Nigeria's plan of housing, providing affordable shelter looks very ambitious. But with this price, can we ever get to that reality of helping more Nigerians afford their houses at 10,000 naira? Minimum wage is about, let's say, still 30,000 naira. Talk to us.
I mean, okay, so like I said, to be able to achieve this ambitious affordable housing goals in the midst of this rising cement prices is it's very, very it's a significant challenge, as we can see the higher construction costs would impact the um house affordability and also basically housing or infrastructure projects generally. But like I said, we have seen that the government has come in to provide or give incentives or even partner with other private developers to ensure that we have affordable housing. I mean, recently saw that the new administration created like a federal mortgage scheme to be able to encourage and also provide affordable housing. I mean, those are one of the key strategies that we have seen the government do to try and bring down cement prices. And also, we need to see, I think they need to also bring in policies or reforms that would also spur new entrants into the market, because right now we do not have a lot of competition, and this has given rise to the increase in prices as well. So once we see policies that will actually spur competition in the cement industry, I mean, I think it's a step in the right direction to reduce cement prices.
I just like to touch briefly because you mentioned competition, and earlier on you had talked about oligopoly having few persons operating in a particular industry, and it's very hard to penetrate. I mean, to go into it. So, in itself, are we likely to see more of the close to exchanging blows between the two major giants like we had last year? And the war of words in the media between them.
I mean, I do not think we'll see any price war right now because cost-wise, it is not looking very, very good for cement producers because we expect costs to increase. And we also expect them to be able to defend or offset this cost using pricing or a form of pricing. So we do not expect to see a price war. And even if we see a price war, it may even be much more shorter than we saw last time. So we do not expect to see a price war because, like I said, the aim of the objective of cement producers right now is to defend or to offset the impact of this price, of this cost by increasing price, and also to protect their margins too. Margins means a lot to these cement producers, so they will most likely want to protect their margins.
Hmm. Okay, when interests involve, okay, they put away their differences and okay, protect the industry. Let's get a final item on the agenda for you. Now, what does this say about Nigeria's aspiration for massive infrastructure renewal and all of this with this rising price of uh, cement?
Okay, so I mean, with the rising price of cement, okay, so there's a concern of escalating cost. So high cement prices can result in cost escalation or rising costs for infrastructure projects, and that will also increase the overall budget. And this can also affect the government financing and also limit the number of projects that the government can actually even put their hands into because of constrained financing. And also project delays. Rising cement can lead to delay in infrastructure projects. And because they grapple or they struggle with higher material cost, delay in this project implementation can also disrupt project schedules and also, I mean, affect the overall construction industry. But like I said, this still doesn't stop the federal government from trying to have like ambitious plans. I mean, this year we saw that capital expenditure, the amount earmarked for capital expenditure has increased for this year's budget. And this current admission is also very, very focused on this commitment to increase infrastructure development. So I mean, the drive to still ensure that Nigeria bridges its infrastructure gap is still very much the demand of the federal government. So I mean, despite the higher cement prices, the federal government is still committed to it. I mean, trying to bridge this infrastructure gap. And also, but I mean, that's not enough. We still need, like I said, to implement policies that will stabilize cement price and also ensure affordability of infrastructure projects. Because I mean, it will get to a time where the federal government may not be able to afford more or may not be able to totally implement all of these infrastructure projects because of high costs. So they need to look for a way to be able to make cement prices affordable for cement producers. Thank you.
Okay, so let's pick up the few messages we've got here reacting to this price issue relating to cement. I've got Tile's message in saying, safe to say we have a collusion oligopoly practice in cement industry. The price war by BOA didn't achieve any result. I wonder why. Someone will build these warehouse and government rather than address input, will make declarations and suggestion to peg rent charge on tenant. Let them continue to play ostrich. And then I'll pick up Babatunde Alau's message. Cost production will keep increasing and will definitely have direct impact on prices at the market. All the reforms the president boasted on are the main cause of the current economic collapse. The reforms are theory-based. Tell the government Niger is more complex than mere theories. Let there be clinical look at some of their policies, Babatunde allows thought. And a final one here comes in from Fine Oluboroko. The way and manner government goods prices skyrocketing right now, especially in the construction sector, because people not to build houses again, except there is a quick and genuine intervention from the government, real estate business may crash. Fine Oluboroko. And that's where we head back to say big thank you to our guest this morning. I will say thank you to Abigail Alabi, Sub-Saharan Industrial Goods Analyst, Vetiva Capital Management Limited. Have a great Thursday. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, and you too.